Welcome to the NCAA Women's Swimming and Diving Championships, presented by Enterprise. 21 championships on the line, the best swimmers in America descending upon Purdue. We're at the Boilermaker Aquatic Center in West Lafayette, Indiana, on the campus of Purdue University. Hi everybody, I'm Trey Bender alongside Olympic gold medalist Janet Evans. Glad you're with us. It was a historic year last year as California won their first national championship. It was a dramatic finish, winning in the final event. And Terry McKeever, the first female head coach to be crowned a national champion. What teams do you think are going to make a run at the title this year, Janet?
Well, Trey, Cal is still in the mix along with Florida and Arizona, but the two real teams are Georgia and Stanford. Both have a great tradition of NCAA swimming. Stanford hasn't won a title since 1998. They're also led by a female coach, Lee Maurer. Georgia has incredible depth, 18 swimmers. It's going to be a fight, I believe, until the very last relay.
Several individuals are in the spotlight as well. Who should we look for here at Purdue?
Well, Georgia has the great freestyler, Allison Schmidt. She's a sophomore. She dominates the 200 and 500 freestyle. Stanford has Julia Smith, the amazing IMer who broke the American record in the 400 IM at the Pac-10 championships. They also have the great butterflyer, Elaine Breeden. And Florida has Gemma Spofford, the great backstroker who's going for her 4th title in the 200 back.
Now the diving championships are on the line here as well, and Olympian Cynthia Potter will get us up to speed on that. Cynthia?
Thanks, Trey. The two best springboard divers here are a pair of Olympians. Minnesota sophomore Kelsey Bryant and University of Houston senior Anastasia Poznikova. They both demonstrated their competitiveness earlier in the 1-meter competition as Bryant was the top qualifier, but it was close the whole way. And when it came down to the final round, Poznikova edged out Bryant, setting a record in the process and defending her 2009 title. As we take a look at the platform event, one of the favorites is Chin Ni, a sophomore from IUPUI. She made history last year, becoming the school's first ever qualifier for the NCAA swimming and diving, and she placed 4th. Her strengths are that she has a dance and a gymnastic background, and she is a bit more of a performer than she is a competitor. We're looking forward to lots of great action down here in the diving well, Trey.
Thanks, Cynthia. Here's a look at the point distributions at the NCAAs. First place, 20 points, down to 16th place, 1 point, and you earn double points for the relays. We're ready for the 200 medley relay as we look at the records owned by the Arizona Wildcats, the NCAA and the American record in 08. The lane assignments, the Wildcats a favorite with Tennessee in the middle, but keep an eye on Georgia and Stanford in lanes 7 and 8. The Bulldogs, the defending champs.
Yes, the defending champs, because Arizona disqualified this event last year. But really, even though Arizona's favored, the real race, Trey, is going to be in lane 7 and 8. Georgia and Stanford, every point counts, and whoever beats this one in the relay gets more points. So watch lane 7 and 8. That's where the best race of this event will be.
Stanford 11 titles in this event in their storied history.
Now, because this is a different strokes, the lead's going to change many times. Now, I expect Gemma Spofford from Florida to take the lead in this. Now, Florida could or could not be in this relay. I do think Arizona's going to be ahead, but Gemma Spofford is a senior at Florida. She's an amazing backstroker. Like I said, the lead may change, so we'll see what happens come the breaststroke.
Lane 3, Spofford off to the good start for the Gators in the blue cap in lane 3.
Florida taking a big lead in this race right now. Lane 7 and 8. Still hanging in there. It looks like Georgia's pulling ahead of Stanford just a little bit in that competition. But
Arizona in lane 4, and Chandler right now a bit of an edge.
As expected, Arizona is taking the lead. Expect them to build on that lead in the butterfly and the freestyle legs. Coming up on the ever-important relay takeoff. We're halfway through the race. Great takeoff by Arizona, and Stanford, interestingly, in lane 8 at the very top of your screen. Stanford's pretty far behind Georgia for this short of a race, so they have a lot of catching up to do to beat Georgia in that points tally.
Aaron Campbell and the Arizona Wildcats in lane 4, up by almost a body length now.
They're really making up for last year's disqualification. They're coming back with a vengeance. Hopefully they can maybe break their own American record that they set in 2008.
Justine Schluntz trying to bring it home for Arizona. They have a good lead here.
This is really amazing for this short of a relay to be ahead by this much. This is dominating this relay. It's incredible. And I think right now what they're really going for is that American and NCAA record.
Will it be the case?
I think they're going to do it.
Schluntz touches, and Arizona wins it. Tennessee and Florida, 1, 2, and 3.
And Georgia, 7th, and Stanford, 8th.
And they don't get the record, but a great time. And they get the title again, the last one in 08.
Definite redemption for these Arizona girls. It was devastating to them when they were disqualified last year. They lost the team title. Here's that final exchange between the butterfly and the freestyle leg. A good exchange, not too fast, not too quick, not too slow either. If you go too fast, you get disqualified. And here's the finish. It's long and strong. When you're ahead of the pack, you don't have a lot of waves. So she's able to get in and dominate the field.
Arizona the winner. The Wildcats get it done first time in 2 years, followed by Tennessee and Florida in the 200 medley. A frustrated Georgia head coach Jack Bowerly, his Lady Bulldogs disqualified. Janet, what happened here?
Well, Trey, we speak about that ever-important relay exchange. Georgia swimming 2 down from the top of your screen. Their breaststroker is coming into the wall. The secret to a successful exchange is for her hands to touch the wall as the butterflyer's feet are leaving the blocks. It's very, very close here, but you can tell that the butterflyer's feet are off the blocks before that breaststroker touches the wall, leading to the disqualification.
Costly mistake for Georgia. They lose 24 points in the team standings. Coming up at the Boilermaker Aquatic Center, highlights from some earlier competition here at Purdue. A look at some highlights from earlier events that are final, the 200 freestyle relay.
Florida dominating this relay. It should be a closer race. To win this relay by this much time is a great victory for Florida.
So the Gators getting it done, edging Stanford, California taking 3rd place in the 200 free. The 500 free now.
Not even a race. Georgia's Allison Schmidt up at the top of your screen in lane 7 led this race from wire to wire. The race was obviously for 2nd place. The only thing Schmidt is going for now is a better time, a faster time, possibly an NCAA or American record, just trying to finish off this race and cement her dominance at the NCAA level in this event.
Georgia, a big race for them as the Bulldogs take 1st place and 3rd place as track comes in 3rd. Lauren Boyle of California finishing 2nd in the 500. 200 individual medley.
Now Julia Smith has dominated this race. She is the best IMer in the country at this moment. So she was a little bit, kind of even with the field after the butterfly, but after that 50-yard mark, when she got to the backstroke leg, she pulled away very easily from the rest of the field. And by the time we got to the freestyle, she had a body length lead over the rest of the girls, and once again, as expected, won this race for Stanford.
A convincing win for Julia Smith of Stanford. Wilkinson and Scroggie, A&M and Georgia take 2nd and 3rd place. The 50 freestyle now.
Now this race is all about breakout, start, turn, getting the momentum going in order to beat someone by 1/100th or 2/100ths of a second. At the turn, everyone is even, but in the middle of the screen we have Liv Jensen from Cal and Elizabeth Webb from Stanford battling it out, but still to this point, Trey, it's too close to call. I think we're gonna have to look at the scoreboard when the race is over. And it is Liv Jensen from Cal winning by 3/100ths of a second.
Photo finish, Jensen, Webb of Stanford, and Marie Botek taking 3rd. And the 400 medley relay.
Final 50 meters to go. The race is between Stanford and Arizona in the middle of the pool. Arizona in the white cap leading just a little bit above Stanford, but the race really gets competitive here. It's just really too hard to tell who's gonna win. Stanford's Kate Dwelly trying to catch Arizona's Justine Schluntz, but I'm not sure that Dwelly has enough room. And as the race progresses, Arizona wins the ever-important 400-yard medley relay.
Big race for the Wildcats. Arizona wins it, followed by Stanford and the Florida Gators 3rd. So here's where we stand through 7 events at the NCAA Championships. A Pac-10 flavor. Stanford with the lead. California in 2nd place now, and Arizona moves up to 3rd. Let's take a look at our Coca-Cola storyline. Stanford, will the drought end? Georgia, Can the depth overcome that DQ on the 200 medley relay?
Stanford hasn't won an NCAA title since 1998, but if anyone can do it, Lee Maurer, it would be her first title. She can do it. Georgia overcoming that disqualification. It takes the momentum out of their run, but Jack Bowerly's a great coach. I think the girls can get back into it and perhaps overcome it.
Coming up, Stanford stars Julia Smith in the 400 IM and Elaine Breeden in the 100 fly go for national title. Welcome back to the Boilermaker Aquatic Center at Purdue, the 400 IM.
Well, American record holder and dominant IMer Julia Smith had herself quite a race here. Usually Smith pulls away from the field in the backstroke, but there she is in the white cap, swimming below Teresa Crippen in the blue cap of Florida. This was a very surprising moment for us because usually Smith pulls away in the backstroke leg.
So Florida early, but Stanford showing how strong they are in the end here.
Well, yes, Trey, at the end of the day, no one is going to beat Julia Smith right now in an individual medley event. And this became obvious. As soon as the breaststroke leg came, she wasn't tired. Perhaps Teresa Crippen had tired herself out by getting too far ahead at the beginning. Julia Smith used her endurance and her strength, and by the time 50 yards of the breaststroke race was over, she was half a body length ahead of Crippen. And by the time the freestyle came, look at that lead. A body and a half, almost 2 body lengths lead, showing the dominance that we expected from her. I am a bit surprised at her time though, Trey. At the Pac-10 Championship, she was the first woman to break 4 minutes with a 3:58. So 4:00.09, a little slow for Julia Smith, but she still scored those 20 important points for Stanford University.
And a strong finish for the win for Julia Smith. As we look at the results for the 400 IM, Smith wins it, followed by Teresa Crippen of Florida. USC's Katinka Hosu takes 3rd place. The 100 butterfly on tap from West Lafayette, Indiana, as we take a look at the records held by Natalie Coughlin of California. NCAA and American lane assignments. And in the middle is where we'll have to watch Cal, USC, and Stanford well represented here, and Lindsay DePaul, the newcomer on the scene.
The newcomer, a transfer to Southern Cal from UC Irvine. Last year, Amanda Sims from Cal beat Elaine Breeden by 6/100ths of a second in this race. So those two were supposed to have their rivalry. They were gonna get back to it. But you know what? Lindsay DePaul stuck in the middle, and it's gonna be a great race between the 3 of these girls.
Breeden, the top NCAA time this year, and then California has Amanda Sims, and she's in lane 3 and is the defending national champ. So those 3 swimmers are in the spotlight here in this one. California head coach Terry McKeever on how special it was to be the first female head coach to win an NCAA title last year.
I'm really proud of that. I mean, I think that you know, hopefully that won't be such a big deal here. And I mean, we even have Stanford, I think, on the verge with Lee Maurer, that hopefully we can maybe have another female. But it just shows that you know, there are quality men and women coaching at this level, and doing it their own unique ways and having great success. So it's been a lot of fun.
Great achievement. She has a great career ahead of her, and she'll have her eyes on Amanda Sims in lane 3.
Now watch this start, Trey. It's extra important. This is a power event. Butterfly's a power stroke, and every 100th of a second counts. So whoever has the best start might be able to win this race. Breakout is important too at the end of the start. As we expected, it's very even. 100ths of a second will probably make the difference between these swims.
Lane 2, Anne-Marie Botek from Georgia.
Now the 3rd lap, this lap they're coming up on right now, is really important at 100. Your arms start to get tired, your piano feels like it's on your back. You really got to get your power going here. And once again, the race is pretty close. Maybe her experience, she's a 2008 Olympian, maybe her experience is paying off in a situation like this.
Still Breeden in lane 5.
She breathes to her side, she can see who's next to her, coming into the wall.
Breeden has a bit of an advantage, can she hang on? She does. Elaine Breeden from Stanford winning the 100 fly. DePaul from USC taking 2nd, Sims from Cal is 3rd.
It was a great swim for Breeden. Payback for last year for getting touched out by Amanda Sims from Cal. Great points for Stanford. Now here's the last 25 yards coming up. it looks like Elaine Breeden got a little tired to me at the end. Her arms she was nice and stretched out in the first 3 laps, and then as we get closer to the end of this last lap, you can feel her tightening up a little bit. But even though she did tighten up, her stroke got a little short, and she did have not a great finish. She stretched to the wall. She still had enough distance between the other girls to take home the win.
So Breeden, a silver medalist in the Olympics in '08. The winner here in the 100 butterfly. Elaine Breeden of Stanford takes the championship in the 100 fly. A tight race. She holds off the newcomer Lindsay DePaul from USC, and Cal's Amanda Sims finishes 3rd. Coming up, Georgia goes for big points in the 200 free with Allison Schmidt and Morgan Scroggie going for the Bulldogs. Let's tee up the 200 freestyle. A look at the record. Dana Vollmer from California holds the NCAA and American records in this event. Lane assignments, it's all about Georgia, especially in lanes 4 and 5. Romano is in lane 2. Allison Schmidt, the Olympian, the favorite.
She was 2nd in this event in 2008, 3rd in 2009. Her teammate Morgan Scroggie was 2nd in 2009. So these 2 girls have a lot of history between them, and both of them are looking for their first NCAA championship in this event, which used to be dominated by Dana Vollmer of Cal.
Big event in terms of the team points for Georgia. A chance to pick some up right here.
They are really loaded in this event, but I don't know, after that relay disqualification, Georgia's pretty far back down in the standings. But nevertheless, it's a pretty exciting race, and great chance for Georgia to score some points and make up some differences.
Schmidt, the NCAA champ in the 500 free.
Yes, and Allison Schmidt has been swimming very well. I think being an Olympian in 2008 gave her a lot of confidence. She's a sophomore at the University of Georgia, so this is her 2nd NC2As. She knows what she's doing. This isn't an intimidating meet anymore for her, so I expect her to have a great race. But I expect good things out of Morgan Scroggie as well.
Could be a race from the Bulldogs.
Now, Trey, the 200 freestyle is a really interesting event because it's not a sprint, but it's not a distance race. So you have to have a lot of fast speed up front. You have to be able to pull ahead of the pack and get your tempo going. But you also have to have the endurance. And the 200 freestyle, by the end of the 3rd 50, you're getting a little tired.
Lauren Purdue in lane 7 out of Virginia has the early lead here.
This is an early lead, though. Like I said, this race is actually, it's only a minute, 50 some odd seconds, 40 some odd seconds, but the lead can change in this race. Just women have different, they're sprinters or they're distance swimmers, and some of them take it out fast and some of them bring it home fast.
It's still Purdue in lane 7. Here comes Scroggie in lane 5 making a push.
Now this
Schmidt in lane 4 behind her.
And this could be where Scroggie's confidence and her experience comes in. Purdue's out fast, but Scroggie kind of keeps her in her vision, sees her. This 3rd 50 is really important. Look at Morgan Scroggie put in her kick. Now, as long as she hasn't put in her kick too early, if she can keep this up for the last 3 laps, she can continue on. As Purdue fades a little bit, this 3rd 50 is so important.
Lane 5, Scroggie now takes the lead from Purdue, the freshman from Virginia. Scroggie and Schmidt, 5 and 4.
And Schmidt is looking for a good turn. Actually, that was not a great turn by Schmidt. This last 50, now we have to wonder if Morgan Scroggie pushed it too hard in the 3rd 50. And now this 4th 50, Schmidt is finally catching up to her because she's not as tired as Scroggie may be. Looks pretty even to me on that last turn. And Schmidt had a great turn and pulled ahead a little bit of Scroggie.
You see Georgia in the white caps. Schmidt in lane 4, just in front of Scroggie in lane 5.
It'll be all about the finish.
And it will go to Schmidt. Allison Schmidt, the winner, beating out her teammate Scroggie with the touch. Wilkinson from Texas A&M takes 3rd.
By 1/10 of a second, Trey. I tell you, at the end of that race, it was anyone's race between the 2 of those girls. It was all a question of the finish, of who put their head down, of maybe of whose arms weren't quite as tired. So coming into that last turn, the girls were even. It looks like Schmidt has a little bit of a lead, but as we get closer to the end, Morgan Scroggie picks it up a little bit, but Schmidt just had a little extra length in her arms and got to that wall just a little quicker than Scroggie did.
Allison Schmidt, a good event for the Bulldogs. She wins the 200 free. It was a race for the dogs from Athens, Georgia, as they take 1, 2, and 4. Schmidt and Scroggie 1, 2. Wilkinson from A&M third. And Megan Romano, also from Georgia, takes fourth. They pick up 52 points in the team standings. Through 10 events at Purdue University, Georgia clawing their way back into it. Now in third place. Stanford is still the leader. California is in second. The 100 back national title is on the line as we take a look at the records held by Natalie Coughlin of California, NCAA and American marks. Lane assignments, keep an eye on lanes 4 and 5. We expect the winner to come out of the middle of the pool. And a tough-minded challenger, Katerina Fisenko. Hope she can win it.
Katerina Fisenko was second last year. She's a real racer. She's a real fighter. And she got second to lane 5, Gemma Spofford of Florida. She's the Florida team captain. She's a solid swimmer. She was a 2008 Olympian for Great Britain. She, as I mentioned, is a defending Olympic champion. And this, if she wins it, will be her third 100 backstroke NCAA victory in a row.
Gemma Spofford says there's a special meaning behind this race.
Honestly, the whole of my team behind me keeps me motivated. I had a couple of times this year where I was very sort of anti-training and I didn't want to be there, and I was like, I've done everything I need to do. I've got a world record. I've been all over the world with this, and I'm done. That's what I said to myself at Christmas, and I was like, there's nothing more I can get from this. But the team behind me and being a team captain, being a role model for everyone else, and knowing that the team is a family and they're there to support and encourage everything I do, and it just, all that atmosphere around me just keeps me going and keeps me motivated to go. And then obviously on the other side, this meet has always been a meet for my mom. Freshman year, she was sick during this meet, and I went home to see her straight afterwards, and obviously she died in 2007, and this meet's just, I mean, it's been an emotional meet every time I've swum it, and this one's no different, and this really is an inspirational meet because she was so strong.
Well, for the Brit, this is her race. It's her moment.
This is her race, but I do expect a really tough race from Katerina Fisenko from Indiana. She's a Ukrainian athlete. She's tough. She's known for being a fighter and getting in there. So I need Jenna Spofford really needs to keep her composure and not panic if Fisenko's a little bit ahead of her.
Take your mark.
Underwater, get a nice streamline, some dolphin kick to get their momentum going. And it looks like Fisenko had a great start and is up ahead of Spofford, but the race is young.
Jennifer Conley, the local kid from the University of Tennessee. She grew up here in West Lafayette, lane 3.
Now this is where Gemma Spofford's experience is going to come through. Going into the third lap, once again, the most important lap of this race. She needs a great turn to get momentum going. Stuck a little bit on that turn. She didn't get as strong of a push off as she needed, but she still has a little bit of the lead.
Just in front of Fisenko in lane 4.
Now in backstroke, you want to keep your timing going, you want to keep your rhythm going, you don't want to start spinning your wheels and spinning the water.
Spofford continues to lead by just
Fisenko
by a
had
hair.
a great push off there, a great build up.
And
it's going to be anyone's race.
It's back and forth.
Finish.
Back and forth, and Spofford wins it. Fisenko second, and that's about as close as you can get it. Barta USC is third.
You know, it was a great race because even though Spofford had an edge most of the race, Fisenko was always there. She never faded. She kept fighting, just like we predicted that she would. Okay, coming off the third turn, Spofford didn't have that great of a turn, so she lost a little momentum coming into it. So she got too far from the wall, as you can see, and she really didn't get a great push off there. So Fisenko is still underwater, and she builds a little bit. And here's the finish. Spofford has a little bit of an edge and pulls it through in the end.
So Spofford wins her third in a row in this event, capturing the 100 backstroke. Gemma Spofford does it again, winning the 100 backstroke for the third straight year. Katerina Fisenko challenges but comes up short. Indiana finishing second, and USC's Presley Bard takes third. Coming up, we crown a national champion in 3-meter diving. Three-meter diving here at Purdue University. The results after 4 rounds. Anastasia Podzniakova In first place, the senior, the native of Russia, Victoria Ishimatsu, and Kelsey Bryant. Bryant is in second, Ishimatsu in third after 4 rounds. And in team scoring, just like swimming, each event scores through 16 places. First place, 20 points, all the way down to 16th place, 1 point. J.L. Patrick, the sophomore.
JL does a unique hurdle, approaching hurdle called the hop hurdle. And we're going to see it on this reverse 2.5. Many of the women are using this hurdle. And we're going to hear more about it later from her coach, Jay LaRue from Texas A&M. This is a reverse 2.5 somersault. Watch the little hop. You saw the jump into the last step. And like I said, we're going to hear more about what's behind that type of hurdle and why it works so well. Beautiful reverse 2.5. This is one of her best dives. And it should pay off because she goes in vertically, she's nice and high, and she has a beautiful stretch.
A good dive and 69 points for the Aggie. Now the Big Ten Diver of the Year, Kelsey Bryant, the sophomore from Minnesota.
Kelsey Bryant just not even 10 points behind the leader, Anastasia Poznikova from the University of Houston. Kelsey Bryant, a sophomore at Minnesota. She was second on the 1 meter, and Kelsey Bryant is one of the fiercest competitors you will come across. She loves to perform well. She rises to the occasion. And that was such a dynamic jump off the springboard. The judges want to see the approach be smooth and flowing. In the starting position, good posture, but look how high she is when she jumps. She slightly miscalculates the entry into the water. And you see a little bit of splash right there as she just over-rotates. A slight mistake, but she should be rewarded for that beautiful jump.
A good dive, not a great dive, and she gets 69 points for that one. Anastasia Poznikova, our current leader, coming off an NCAA record in the 1 meter, native of Russia.
Poznikova is one of the most graceful artistic divers that you will ever run across. Her coach, Jane Figueredo, said she has come such a long way, and she is a very shy, almost stoic young woman. Very serious, but so beautiful and flowing. Watch this. Now that wasn't one of her best dives. I haven't seen her miss a dive like that in quite a while. I watched her do it in practice. She didn't miss it like this. And this scoots away from the springboard too far out. This will give Kelsey Bryant the first position going into the final round, just where Kelsey Bryant wants to be. And I know Poznikova will be very upset after that.
Uncharacteristic, and a total score of 57 on that dive. Three-meter diving results after 5 rounds. Kelsey Bryant of Minnesota has the lead. Anastasia Poznikova of Houston in second place, and J.L. Patrick of Texas A&M right now in third. Here's one of the 2 sophomore Aggies from College Station, Texas, J.L. Patrick.
J.L. Patrick, in my opinion, is one of the most talented women in the world. And she was third in the 1 meter contest. This would be, she's in third place right now. This would be amazing for her to be in the top 3 on both springboards because she hadn't been here before. This is a back 1.5 with 2.5 twist. Oh, that's pretty. It's a very pretty dive. She has very good acrobatic skills, twisting and somersaulting. And of course, that being 1.5 somersault with 2.5 twist, that's an asset that every diver wants to have. Nice last round dive. We'll just have to see what the rest of the field does that follow her.
They reward her with all 7s and a 60.2 point total on that dive. Here's Kelsey Bryant, the Minnesota Golden Gopher, currently in second place. Her sister Katie was a national champ, and she is now in first place after the tabulation. So here we go down the stretch.
Yes, I say she was in first place because after the last round, she was in first place. And in order for her to continue to be in first place and to put the pressure on Anastasia Poznikova from the University of Houston, she needs to do a very good last round dive, which is one of her best dives, a forward 2.5 with 1 twist. A lot of times divers save their best dive, or one of them, for the last round so that they can do exactly what Kelsey Bryant is doing here. Put the pressure on the rest of the field if you're not the last diver. Oh, very nice. She really catapulted herself up in the air on every dive she did, and she continues to do that. It is amazing. Her feet weren't quite on the tip of the springboard, or she might have even gone up higher, but this is such a beautifully performed 2.5 somersaults, and then she does 1 twist. It's actually a double somersault, 1 twist, and then she dives in head first, and that should put some pressure on Poznikova. Poznikova is going to have to come up with a very good dive.
Will it be good enough to keep first place? 72 points on that dive, couple 8.5s for Bryant.
And that's her highest scoring dive of the contest.
Here we go. Anastasia Poznikova, right now, a chance to win it. The Houston product, already NCAA record of the 1 meter. Here she goes in the 3 meter final dive.
She needs 9s on this dive in order to beat Kelsey Bryant. And Mark Taylor, the swimming coach at the University of Houston, said, I have the best diving coach in the world, and Anastasia Poznikova has improved so much that she is proving Jane Figueiredo to be one of the best diving coaches in the world. Let's see if she can get the 9s. Nope.
Not good enough?
Nope, not good enough. Kelsey Bryant will win this. This dive going in the water was over twisted. You're going to see both of her legs as she goes in the water. Right there, the twist as she goes in the water will prevent her from winning her 2nd title at the NCAAs, but Kelsey Bryant is a champion for the first time, and that is huge for her.
68.15 on that dive. Not good enough to win the championship, but Kelsey Bryant from Minnesota is celebrating. In 2nd place, Anastasia Poznikova from Houston, and in 3rd place, J.L. Patrick from Texas A&M. Here's Janet Evans with the 3 meter champ, Kelsey Bryant.
Kelsey, that was a great last dive. You had a lot of pressure on you. You put a lot of pressure on the other competitors. Tell me why you saved that dive for last.
I think it's my most consistent dive. And I mean, Wimbo's really in charge of what order my dives are. He knows what I can count on, so I think he puts my most consistent one last so he can count on it to do it like I did tonight.
And after you won, you went up and you hugged your parents. Tell me what it means to have their support here.
It's really awesome. You know, I moved away from home when I was 14. I actually moved to Purdue to train with Wimbo, and it's really cool to have them both here, and they always have supported me, and I couldn't have done it without them.
Absolutely. Congratulations. We're proud of you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Janet. Coming up, back to the pool. Double points at stake in the 800 freestyle relay. Welcome back to West Lafayette, Indiana, the Boilermaker Aquatic Center, the 800 freestyle relay.
Well, this is Georgia's race, Trey. Not a question in our mind. They're women. This is a 4x2 freestyle relay. In the 200 freestyle, they placed 1st, 2nd, and 4th. So obviously, they are going to dominate this relay. This is a matter of pride for Georgia. The race is very close in the standings. Who's going to win? Stanford, Georgia, maybe Arizona, maybe Cal. With winning this race by such a great margin, it really puts an exclamation point and shows the rest of the teams that, hey, Georgia's here to win, and Georgia's gonna do it by winning this relay.
Allison Schmidt caps it off, a convincing win for the Lady Bulldogs as they cruise to the victory in the 800 free. California 2nd, Florida 3rd. So after 14 events, the Bulldogs get double points after the relay win. Stanford a 4-point lead now over Georgia. Arizona and Cal in the hunt in 3rd and 4th place. It's time now for the Home Depot Coaching Clinic. Here's Cynthia Potter.
Thank you, Trey. I am here with head Texas A&M diving coach Jay LaRue. And Jay, you were one of the first ones to use this innovative approach and hurdle for women. What is it? What do you call it, and how does it work?
Well, it's called the hop hurdle, and a lot of women all over the world are using this hurdle to generate a lot of power from the diving board.
And when you say they generate power, where does that happen, and exactly what is the difference?
Well, the invention of the lighter diving boards and the more flexible diving boards, on the last step, right before they step on their last leg, they push the board down real far and try to ride that last step.
What's the biggest challenge?
Staying on balance during that big movement.
And what's the benefit?
Well, you get the board down really far and you come down really high out of your hurdle.
Thank you so much, Coach Jay. Now we know how to do the hop hurdle, and that is our Home Depot Coaching Clinic. Trey, take it away.
Thanks, Cynthia. Coming up, the 200 backstroke. Florida's Gemma Spofford going for her 4th straight title. Welcome back to the Boilermaker Aquatic Center. The final stages of the 1650 free.
As expected, Trey, the race is all about Wendy Trott, the University of Georgia sophomore. She hails from Cape Town, South Africa. She is the defending NCAA champion in this event. She was expected to win, and boy, is she winning big. Not much competition. She was neck and neck with Haley Anderson of USC for the first 500 yards, but she pulled ahead and actually even lapped people during this race. Incredible. Her second NCAA victory, a great swim for Wendy Trott of the University of Georgia.
Back-to-back champ in the 1650, Wendy Trott. Time for the 200 back final. A look at the records. Natalie Coughlin, Gemma Spofford, who will be in the pool here at Purdue in the 200 back. Lena Simons, look at the middle of the pool, lanes 3, 4, and 5. And Katerina Fisenko from Indiana trying to challenge the 2 Gators.
She's looking to upset the apple cart. She was second to Gemma Spofford here at Purdue in the 100 backstroke. Like we said in the 100 back, she's a tough competitor, but Gemma Spofford going for her 4th NCAA title in this event. A lot of pressure, but she's experienced, and I think she can live up to it. Her teammate, Teresa Crippen, is also having a great meet. She was second in this event last year. She's done well in the 400 IM. I expect great things from her, but I really think Fisenko and Spofford will be leading the race.
So Crippen expects to be in the hunt.
Fisenko tends to be a little bit of a sprinter, so expect her to take it out faster than Spofford. Expect Spofford to use her experience to hang back maybe a little bit and look for her to move on the 3rd 50. Okay, the start on the 200 backstroke, not quite as important as the start on the 100, but it does set the mood, set the tone, see who gets out first after the breakout after the start. Okay, like I said, expect Fisenko to be out fast, Spofford to hold back a little bit, and the race will continue, and expect some movement also on the 3rd 50.
Last individual event for Spofford.
It's been a great college career for her. 4 years of potentially winning this race. It hasn't happened very much at the NCAA level, so I expect it to be a very exciting moment if she pulls through.
True to form, the middle lanes.
Fisenko has a great underwater push off after her breakout. As expected, she's ahead, but remember, she's a sprinter. Sprinters have what we call easy speed. So Fisenko's easy speed is helping her with this race, but she is going to get tired. Mark my words, this is a long race for her. This is long distance. Spofford's going to use her experience to pull ahead, and I expect it to happen here on her 5th lap or the beginning of the 3rd 50. And Crippen's actually in the race as well.
Fisenko still holding strong in the white cap in lane 3 with the lead.
And this is where Spofford needs to make her move. If you've noticed, her turnover's gotten faster. Her turns are getting a little quicker. She's trying to run Fisenko down. She hasn't done it yet. Fisenko is holding on.
Fisenko by half a body length. Spofford in lane 4 trying to catch her.
We still have 50 yards left, though. A lot can happen in 50 yards. What you'll need to look for is to see if Fisenko's turnover slows. If she can't keep that tempo going, it'll mean she's getting tired. But like I said, she's a fighter.
3, 4, and 5. Fisenko, Spofford, and Crippen.
Spofford's legacy on the line here. She's running out of room. That breakout is so important. Fisenko still has the edge.
She's in front of Spofford. Fisenko, the Hoosier, trying to win it.
Spofford's out of room. It's Fisenko.
She does it. Fisenko from Indiana over Spofford and Crippen, the 2 Gators.
Quite an upset there, Trey. You know, I really thought that Spofford would hold back a little bit, use her experience on the last 100 yards, and catch Fisenko. But like we said, Fisenko's a fighter. She held on, did a great job. And a big hug between 2 swimmers that have competed against each other in many, many backstroke races. Here we are going into the final turn. Fisenko holds a fairly big lead. She gets a great turn. She's underwater, streamlining, doing her butterfly kick. Spofford is doing the same, but Fisenko is just too far ahead. Look at that kick, how strong her kick is. She's not tired. She had enough energy to finish, even though she's a sprinter, and Spofford just couldn't catch her.
The Hoosier wins it, and dejection for Gemma Spofford. She fails in her bid to win 4 straight in this event.
Quite a legend, though, Trey. She's such a great sport. She's a great team captain for the Florida Gators, and she is very disappointed, but she also has a lot to be proud of.
Final results from the 200 back. It's Indiana getting it done. Gemma Spofford, Teresa Crippen, 2-3 for the Gators. The 100 free championship is on the line as we take a look at the records held by Natalie Coughlin of California. This could be Stanford's race. As you look at the lane assignments in lanes 3 and 6, Schmidt and Twelly in the spotlight.
Now, Julia Schmidt from Stanford, she won the 400 IM, she won the 200 IM, so you might say, what the heck is she doing in the 100 freestyle? She is a great freestyler. She always finishes her IMs great on the freestyle leg. She is a powerhouse for Stanford. They need her to do well in this race. They also need Kate Dwelly to swim well in this race. There are a lot of other competitors here, but these 2 girls need to try to go first and second for the Cardinal. They need it right now for the points, and I think these girls are good under pressure and they can pull through.
We anticipate a close race.
It's the 100 freestyle. It's anyone's race. Not quite the 50. It won't be decided by hundredths of a second, but it could be decided by tenths of a second. So this field is fairly even. There's a lot of great experienced athletes in it, and I really do expect it to be a close race. Every start, every turn, every breakout really counts here. Looks like Schmidt had a good start, better even than Dwelly. Now Schmidt's wearing a white cap, she's towards the bottom of your screen. Dwelly's in a black cap, same team, different color caps. Like we expected, an even field.
Georgia's representing lane 1, Scroggy, but lane 7 right now, Liv Jensen of Cal has the lead.
A great sprinter for Cal, but remember, this race is still 4 laps. She could be ahead at lap 2, but things can change on lap 3 or 4. Or she could go wire to wire, you never know.
It's still Jensen of Cal with the lead in lane 7.
She's starting to fade. Jensen's known for her 50 freestyle. Once again, I still believe this can be anyone's race, even though Jensen's ahead. Look for Schmidt to use her endurance, Dwelly to use hers.
Jensen in the silver cap has the lead. Can she pull it off? Wilkinson
from A&M, who's having a great meet. A&M's having incredible meet. See, Jensen got a little tired. She didn't have that extra length in her fingers at the end of the touch, but it was very, very close.
Wilkinson, Scroggy, and Jensen from Cal takes 3rd. So the surprise here, the Aggie wins it.
And a great moment for Georgia. They were 2nd. Big points for them. Here's the finish. See Jensen, 2nd down from the top of your screen. Still has the advantage, but you see the other swimmers catching her, and at the very end, she just doesn't have the length in her fingertips.
Our winner, Julia Wilkinson, the senior from Texas A&M. Bit of a surprise in the 100 free. Morgan Scroggy getting Georgia a 2nd place finish. Liv Jensen of Cal is 3rd. A look at the standings through 17 events. A tie for first between Georgia and Arizona. Stanford 8 points back, but Florida in the hunt. Swimmers and many divers to come. Coming up next, Stanford looks for big points in the 200 breast and 200 butterfly. Time to tee up the final, the 200 breast. The record, Rebecca Soni of USC. And the lane assignments, Pac-10 rivals in lanes 3 and 4. But Elizabeth Smith of Stanford, the favorite here.
She's a 2009 and 10 national team member. She is the best 200 breaststroker in this field. She has a lot of experience. However, Annie Chandler from Arizona could challenge her, although I do expect Smith to score big points for Stanford in this race and win this race. Lee Maurer, her coach at Stanford, she could be the second woman to win a national championship. She was a former swimmer at Stanford. I actually swam with her there. She's a great coach, doing a great job with the girls. Now expect Annie Chandler to go out fast in this race. Remember, she won the 100 breaststroker earlier in this competition. She is going to take the lead and expect Smith to hang tough and possibly pass her on the third 50, which would be the 5th or 6th lap.
Smith in the black cap in lane 4, St. Louis, Missouri native.
Chandler right below her in lane 3 in the white cap. She's trying to keep her stroke nice and long. It's a little more quiet in the breaststroke if you're here in the stadium. Keeping their strokes long, conserving their energy. This turns out to be a very long race for these women, so they have to pace themselves really well. As expected, Annie Chandler ahead of the field, but not by much.
Just a bit of an edge for Chandler, the Arizona Wildcat, in lane 3, the white cap.
The interesting thing about a 200 race, Trey, is you never know what can happen. Annie Chandler could start feeling really good on this race, and with the excitement of the team competition going on and the confidence she gained from winning the 100 breaststroke earlier, she could actually hang on, you never know. But Elizabeth Smith is a very tough competitor, and actually as we speak, she is pulling up on Annie Chandler.
Chandler, the senior, Smith, the junior, Pac-10 rivals.
Just even at the 100-yard mark, and this is the most important 50 of the race. If this is where Elizabeth Smith is going to make her move, this is where she needs to start. If you notice, she's increasing her tempo. She has that energy, she's conserved it, but Chandler is actually keeping up with her. What we need to look for now with Chandler in the white cap is to see if her strokes gets a little tired, gets a little short.
Smith has surged in front by just a bit ahead of Chandler.
And they're still even. Annie Chandler is hanging in there. Let's see if that sprinter can hang on for a 200.
It's Smith in lane 4 from Stanford with the lead.
And don't forget Atkinson in lane 5 from A&M. Quickly moving up. It might be that Smith doesn't see her or expect her to be moving.
Lanes 3, 4, and 5, keeping an eye on him here.
Even Chandler needs to try to hang on. Atkinson needs to path, and Smith needs to keep her position.
Smith and Atkinson trading the lead.
A&M's having a great night. Could be an upset.
And it is Atkinson from Texas A&M.
Second victory for A&M. This competition, an amazing swim for Atkinson. She came out of nowhere to pass these girls. We thought the race was between Chandler and Smith, and look what she pulled out.
Aaliyah Atkinson, the senior from Texas A&M, wins the 200 breast. Final results from the 200 breast. A couple Pac-10 finishes second and third for Elizabeth Smith and Annie Chandler. The 200 fly title on the line. The record's held by Elaine Breeden of Stanford. And we look at the lane assignments. Middle of the pool, couple USC swimmers. But Breeden, 200 champ, can she get it done here?
I think Breeden is the absolute favorite in this race. She's confident, she's experienced, she has everything going for her as we enter this very, very important race for the team competition as well. But we also have Lindsay DePaul from USC swimming out of lane 3. She's a transfer from UC Irvine. She was second to Breeden earlier in the 100 fly. She is very, very confident. And the fact that Breeden is experienced, has been to more competitions than her, doesn't seem to bother this young swimmer for Southern Cal. So if anyone can do the upset, I expect it to be Lindsay DePaul from USC.
The Olympian, the junior Lane Breeden in the white cap, lane 4.
Now expect them to take it nice and easy after the start. This is a long race. It's very tiring. DePaul was a little flat off that start. Breeden got the definite advantage. Look how far ahead Breeden is as they come out of that start. Maybe it's showing a lack of experience for DePaul. The problem sometimes with the 200 butterfly is, of all the 200 races, the 200 fly is the hardest. Butterfly is a very tiring stroke. You feel like you have a piano on your back. It's just a very difficult stroke. So Breeden is experienced, but she is taking it out pretty fast. So the risk that she is taking by doing that is that she might get tired as the race progresses, and maybe it's the excitement that's taking her out fast.
Breeden in front, bracketed by the 2 USC swimmers, Hozu and DePaul. Breeden with the advantage here.
Now DePaul is such a confident swimmer. I feel like if she can keep Breeden in her eye, if she can see her out there, that she has a chance to pass her. But once again, as in every 200, we're coming up on that third and ever important 50. If DePaul or anyone else is going to move on her, this is where we need to make the move.
Gemma Lowe from Florida in lane 2, trying to challenge, but it's still Breeden in lane 4.
Gemma Lowe, an experienced Olympian from Britain. But it looks like Breeden is leading it from start to finish, and the other girls are having trouble catching her on this third 50.
Breeden from Stanford in front. And she has a commanding advantage now.
A commanding advantage. The only thing that could happen is she get really tired. But look, she was an Olympian. She's experienced. She's swum this race a million times. She knows what she's doing.
Hozu, the Hungarian, behind her in lane 5 in second place.
Turn. DePaul's making a move. I just think DePaul's going to run out of room. Breeden's getting a little tired. You can see her strokes going. It's come down to finish.
And she holds off the 2 USC swimmers, Breeden from Stanford, then Hozu and DePaul from USC.
Wow, what a great finish. It's a great win for Breeden, of course, as expected. However, she did tire at the end. She had such a commanding lead, Trey, as you mentioned, but notice right here, halfway through the last lap, her arms get short. She gets tired. You can feel the weight on her arms, and the USC swimmers just close on into her, but they ran out of room. Coach Maurer celebrating the win and the important points for Stanford University.
Close finish at the 200 butterfly. USC takes second and third. Katinka Hozu and Lindsay DePaul for USC. A look at the points through 19 events. Stanford with a 4-point edge, courtesy of Elaine Breeden. Arizona, California, Florida, 2, 3, and 4. Coming up, platform diving is next. IUPUI's Chen Ni is the favorite, but 2 Florida Gators hoping to pick up points for Florida. Welcome back to Purdue University after 3 rounds of the platform. Here's a look at the standings. Chen Ni of IUPUI in first place by 10 points. Carrie Draglin, Alina Eggers, second and third place. Now the senior from Florida, Cara Jane Salamone. She wastes little time up there.
That's right, she's one of the fastest to get off the tower. And I talked to her about that and she said, I can't think, I just need to react, do my thing. It's a back 2.5 pike. It carries a high degree of difficulty at 2.9, just under the 3.0 degree of difficulty. And she does this dive very well. It should move the Florida senior up in this contest. She was in 6th place, but this dive goes in the water beautifully. She has a great stretch and toe point, and it's clean. Not a whole lot of splash there.
Very good dive. 8s for the senior. Here's the All-American from Alabama, sophomore Carrie Draglin.
Carrie Draglin is a very gymnastic type diver, and she's muscular. She looks really good as she leaves the platform. Her coach, Pat Greenwell, told me that particularly on this dive, there's Pat. He's watching. I don't know if he's holding his breath. He looks like he might be. He wants to see Carrie have her head up as she leaves the platform. She's going to run to the end and do a forward 3.5 somersault, and he wants to see particularly her legs straight in the pike position also. Head up, not quite. She had legs straight, that was good. He's thrilled. I thought her head was just slightly tilted down, but she kept her legs straight. The dive works out well. Nice scores, should be at least 7, 7.5, maybe an 8 here or there. Successful.
63 total the score for the sophomore. Arizona State's Alina Eggers, the sophomore, on the platform.
Alina Eggers was 12th in this event in Beijing, and she's been diving for a long time. She's the best platform diver in Sweden. And her coach, Mark Bradshaw from Arizona State, said, I want to see her finish the dive. I want to see her go in the water without a splash. That's the ticket on this dive. Oh, she just barely slides, sliding somewhat over on the dive. It's a beautiful jump, and she spots the water in front of her, and she is going to get rewarded for that beautiful jump, and she should, because the judges want to see the divers jump up. Even though you're almost 33 feet off the surface of the water, they still want to see that aggressive jump off the platform.
Mostly 8s for the Swede. Chen Ni, the favorite sophomore from IUPUI, a native of China. She talks about her goals for this event.
Be myself, like just do my best. Like just as I said, just every dive do my best, and just as practice, then I'd be happy.
The little white rabbit.
That's her nickname when she was younger in China, the little white rabbit. Well, she doesn't dive like a little white rabbit. She dives like Gargantua. She knows how to spear the water so delicately and makes no splash whatsoever. She has a good time diving. You saw that smile before she went out to turn around for this arm stand. And make no mistake about it, one of her goals is to win also, even though we might not have heard that. There's that gymnastic background coming into play, pressing into that arm stand. Nice arm stand back, double somersault with 1/2 twist. There's Coach Joanna Doki. I think she's a little nervous. But you see what beautiful form this woman has. And of course, that's basic training in China. You're going to have good form no matter what. She has a dance and a gymnastic background, and she demonstrates that very well in that particular arm stand dive.
A good dive for Ni, who would love to relocate to the United States. After 4 rounds on the platform, Chen Ni the leader, followed by Carrie Draglin, and then Alina Eggers. Now in terms of team points, Florida now 4th and 7th here on the platform. Cara Jane Salamone and Monica Dotson, important team points for the Gators here at the NCAAs. Final dive. Cara Jane Salamone, the SEC platform champion.
Okay, this is a big dive. The Florida Gator, the senior from Florida, in 4th place, going into this final dive, a back 1.5 to 2.5 twist. We know she doesn't waste any time on the platform. Donnie Crane said she has to keep her feet together in this twist to score well. Look to see if the feet stay together. Just barely came apart, but she got them back together after they came apart. This is a very proficient dive. She is really good at keeping her composure And there's the beauty of not wasting a whole lot of time on the platform. This will score fairly well, just a little deduction for those feet coming apart. Good dive.
Good way to cap it off for the senior on her final dive. Alina Eggers, the Arizona State sophomore, the native of Sweden. Here she is in round number 5.
Now, in order for her to go into second place, she needs 8s, mostly 8s, more 8s than 7.5s on this dive. And Mark Bradshaw, her coach, said this is a good dive for her. She needs a strong push with her arms off of the platform. Then a nice tight twist, keeping her arms close to her body. If she's going to do this dive well, she needs more 8s than 7.5s to go ahead of Carrie Dragland. She will not get those. That was somewhat weak in that push off the platform. Right here, she's getting too close to her. She's not extending with her arms all the way as she leaves the platform. Carrie Dragland is winning the contest at this point. Of course, Chen Ni is yet to dive.
So Eggers not good enough to move into second place after that dive. Here's the sophomore from China, Chen Ni. Final dive. Dr. Joanna Doki, despite the different cultures, they found a common ground in their relationship.
I think a lot of it has to do with basic communication, and we were lucky because we first of all spoke the language of the sport. Chinese diving mechanics are very much like U.S. Diving Federation mechanics, and so that made a commonality to begin with and made it very easy to coach.
There are so many similarities in technique, especially teaching technique, and the progressions to learn these kind of complicated dives on the platform. She's anxious. She wants to do her last dive, and she needs 7.5s to win this title for IUPUI. Very, very historical, knowing that last year they had never even had a diver get to the NCAAs ever. Needs 7.5s on this back 2.5 with 1/2 twist. She's done it!
Good enough. And the coach proud. Score's coming.
Confident, high, tight, beautifully done, keeps her technique throughout. An amazing, consistent performance, never receiving below a 7 the entire contest.
The platform champ here at the NCAAs, Chen Ni from IUPUI. Congratulations to her. Final results from the platform. Chen Ni, the champion, but Florida gets 27 huge points with the 3rd and 8th place finish as they work towards a possible championship. Here's Janet Evans with the champ of the platform.
Chen, congratulations. How did you keep so calm during that final dive?
Just tell myself it's practice. Yes.
And you're doing what you did in practice?
Because like I've been training like sometimes during the practice I told myself is that okay, right now is everybody looking at you, that's your last dive. If you miss the dive you're gonna lose, but you made the dive you're gonna win. So calm down and just be normal.
And coach, this is a great win for IUPUI. What does this mean for your program?
It means everything to our program. We're a young school and this is phenomenal.
Thanks, Janet. Here's a look at the points. With one event remaining, thanks to Florida's diving points, they're in great position now to get their first title in 28 years. What does it take for the Gators to win? They get the diving points. They control their fate now. They need 4th or higher in this relay.
They just need to keep their composure. It doesn't matter what teams beat them. 4th or higher, they need to focus on those relay exchanges, not get too excited, and they can do it.
Time for the 400 Freestyle Relay Championship. As we look at the records, California and Stanford, the NCAA and American marks. But what a comeback into this one by Florida in terms of a chance to win it all in terms of team points. There you see him in lane 6, Stanford lane 3. Stanford, can they get it done in this event?
I'm not sure Stanford can get it done, Trey. Florida did really well in the platform diving. They've moved up. If they get 4th place in this relay, that's all they have to do. They have to not disqualify. They have to get 4th place. They can come from behind and win this team title. It's incredible. But once again, it comes down to the last relay.
Diving points were important for the Gators, and that's helped them out here, and they have a chance to be NCAA champs.
It's incredible. What an incredible story. This is going to be an amazing relay. I'm so excited. You know, Trey, there's something amazing about this meet because so many times that I can remember, the final championship comes down to this last relay, and the 4x100 freestyle relay is very, very exciting.
Kate Dwelly for Stanford in lane 3, Elizabeth Kemp for Florida in lane 6.
Now Stanford's going to be going full bore here. Everything is on the line for them. What Florida has to do is stay in the race and not false start. They have to be very careful. The girls are excited. They want to get into the pool and swim. So they need to keep their composure and have great finishes leading to great starts.
Stanford in lane 3 in the black caps. Florida needs a 4th place finish to be the NCAA team champs. Stanford right now battling in lane 2. Georgia has the lead.
Now, I spoke to a Stanford assistant coach prior to this relay, and they said, we think we will win this relay. We have the best 400 freestylers in the NCAA right now, so we stand a very good chance of winning this relay. But once again, what really matters is if Florida can pull out a 4th place finish. And right now, they're in the hunt for 4th place.
Right now, Georgia has the lead with Megan Romano in front of Samantha Woodward of Stanford in lane 3. And keeping an eye on lane 6. Right now, Florida, can they finish 4th?
Gemma Spofford is going to be the 3rd swimmer for Florida. She's coming up. She just swam the 200 backstroke. She got 2nd place. This could be redemption for her. She's experienced. She's an Olympian. And look, the heat is pulling even. Florida's right in the hunt even for the victory. Did a good start, not too fast. Spofford had a great relay exchange there. And look at her underwater breakout. She's taking the lead. She was a bit disappointed after her 200 backstroke. We all saw the disappointment in her face. This is her final race of her senior year at the University of Florida, and she's taking the lead for her team. This is incredible. What redemption for her.
They only need 4th place, but the lead right now, and they're looking good for the NCAA team championship.
They are looking good. They could just, you know, something could happen. They could get 4th, but right now they want to win this relay. They want to claim this team championship with an exclamation point. Stanford neck and neck with them, though. It's funny, it's coming down to those two.
It was California winning this event last year to win the NCAA team championship. Can Florida win this event and win the NCAA team championship? Again, they only need 4th place, but they've got the lead.
They do. Stanford, though, has Julia Smith, the great 100 freestyler, as their anchor leg. So it's possible that Stanford could pull ahead here because of Smith. But once again, Florida is in the hunt for 1st place, 2nd place, 3rd place, or 4th. And that's all that matters.
Bowanicki swimming for Florida. California with Liv Jensen battling her now in lane number 5. Cal has the lead.
The Florida swimmer Bowanicki needs to hang on.
Now Stanford is in front.
Pulling up. Arizona's coming in. Julia Smith for Stanford. They're going to get the victory. Now the question is, in lane 6 towards the top of your screen, is Florida going to be able to hang on for 4th place?
Right now, Florida in 3rd place.
Florida 3rd, battling with Georgia. Stanford's going to win. A&M 2nd, and Florida is 3rd.
NCAA team champions, the Florida Gators, credit Stanford for the win in this event in the 400 freestyle relay. That's a big story, but the bigger story, the Gators in lane 6.
It is, I just actually have chills because it came down. Stanford won the relay. Florida came out of nowhere. We didn't have them on the radar. We thought they were a great team. We thought they were having a great meet. But to do this is history making. It's unbelievable.
A big surprise here at Purdue University. What a finish as we take a look at the overall final team standings. Florida wins the national championship, followed by Stanford and California. Let's go to Janet Evans with the championship Gators.
I am here with the NCAA champion Florida Gators. And our diving coach was a great part of it, but I want to ask you, Coach Troy, how did you keep your girls focused? The scores were up and down, you never gave up faith, and look at you won.
It's a great group of young ladies. They did a tremendous job all year, very committed, and can't say enough about them.
And a great coach as well. And Gemma, the 200 backstroke, a little disappointing, but I have a feeling that doesn't matter right now.
Yeah, that's already out of my head, and this is amazing to have the team behind me. Obviously, we came here to win, and it's amazing that we have.
What, congratulations, what a great way to finish your career. And girls, I want to hear it again.
Congratulations to the NCAA champion Florida Gators. Great drama, a thrilling event, and for the second straight year in a row, it has come down to the final race as the Gators win it. Thanks to Janet Evans and Cynthia Potter, I'm Trey Bender. Florida is NCAA champion. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.